This was not just a garden. It was the dwelling place of God's presence. Eden was not ordinary ground. It was the place where heaven and earth seemed to touch. Light felt woven into the air itself. The sun was brilliant, yet it did not burn. The wind moved gently, never harsh, never violent. Every tree felt alive. Every leaf seemed to whisper praise to its creator. Blessing walked across the soil. And humanity, walking with their creator, lived without fear. Adam, the first man, formed from dust, yet alive because of the breath of God. Eve, fashioned from his rib, yet carrying his very life within her. They had never seen death. They had never felt sickness. They had never carried the weight of guilt. Every morning was discovery. Every fruit was a gift. Every creature was a companion. And every evening, when the cool breeze moved through the garden, God walked with them. Imagine that. Humanity walking with God. No walls, no distance, no fear. The relationship was effortless, like a child walking beside a loving father. But in every perfect story, there comes a moment when everything is about to change. One day, another voice entered the garden. No thunder, no lightning, no dramatic entrance, just a whisper. Did God really say? The words did not pierce the heart first. They pierced the mind. And from that moment, the story shifted. Satan did not raise a sword. He did not attack with force. He simply planted a question. Doubt. And when doubt enters the heart, trust does not survive long. Eve paused. She looked at the fruit. It was beautiful. Its color was deep and rich. It was desirable. But it was not just greed. It was curiosity. Perhaps God is holding something back. Perhaps I could become more. Sin suddenly looked attractive. And then Eve reached out her hand. A single moment. A small decision. Adam was there. He did not stop her. He took the fruit. And everything changed. Innocence shattered. Their eyes were opened, but they did not find light. They found shame. For the first time, they felt exposed. For the first time, they sensed something was wrong within them. They began covering themselves. Think about it. Those who had never known shame, now hiding behind leaves. But the greatest change was this. They were afraid of God. When the evening breeze came, the same voice that once brought peace now brought fear. Adam, where are you? God knew where he was. This was not a question of location. It was a question of relationship. Where are you now with me? Silence. Adam's heart pounded. I heard you, and I was afraid. Afraid. A brand new emotion. Then came the blame. Adam said, "The woman you gave me." Eve said, "The serpent deceived me." When humanity falls, responsibility is the first thing we drop. Then justice stepped into the garden. The serpent was called forward. Perhaps Satan was smiling. I have won. Humanity had fallen. The relationship was broken. The garden was lost. But in the very moment when it seemed like darkness had triumphed, God began to speak. And the words he spoke changed the direction of history forever. I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed.
He shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel. Genesis 3:15. This was not merely punishment. It was a declaration, a divine announcement. God was speaking to the serpent, but humanity was listening. Notice something remarkable. Throughout Scripture, seed is traced through the man, but here, the seed is linked to the woman. This was not ordinary language. This was a supernatural hint. God was saying, the story is not over. You may have caused them to fall, but one day, from a woman, a child will be born. And that birth would not be ordinary. A son would come, and he would crush the serpent's head. The head, the symbol of authority, the final defeat. Yes, there would be a wound. The heel would be struck. There would be pain. There would be blood. The promised seed would suffer. But the final blow, it would land on the head. And that victory would be final. Satan believed he had separated humanity from God forever. But in the middle of judgment, grace was hidden. God pronounced consequences, but within those consequences, he planted hope. Adam and Eve were not immediately restored. They were sent out of the garden. The gates closed behind them. A flaming sword guarded the way back. There was no returning to Eden. But their hands were not empty. They carried a promise. Imagine them walking away, every step reminding them of what they had lost. But with every step, a quiet hope walked beside them. One day, he will come. Maybe when Eve held her first son, she wondered, is this the one? Every generation would ask the same question. When Cain was born, did she believe the promise had arrived? But then, blood was shed. Abel fell, and the promise still waited. Time moved forward. Generations rose and fell. But that one sentence, that one prophecy, refused to die. People lived and died. The world grew darker. Sin increased. Corruption spread. But somewhere, in the heart of a mother, hope still lived. Could my son be the one? This was not just a sentence, it was the direction of history. It was the blueprint of redemption. And the story does not end here. This is where the waiting truly begins. If you want to see how this promise survived through the flood, how one man, one covenant, and one chosen bloodline shaped history, then like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment, "The Promise Lives." Because this is not just a story. This is the redemption plan of humanity. In the next episode, the world will grow so corrupt that a flood will come. Everything will be wiped away, but not the promise. Then one man, Noah. Then one name, Abraham. And slowly, history will begin narrowing into a single family line. The promise will no longer be just words. It will begin taking shape. Don't miss it, because what was spoken in Eden is now moving toward fulfillment.